Hello and welcome. Welcome to Digital Office at Home. I have today some very special people with me. There is Smiling Stu and our co-host Gail Kendig.
I'm smiling too.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, I love your name, Smiling Stu. That is welcome. It's a welcoming feeling when you look at your information on the social media and when you just hear your name. I mean, how do you not smile when you hear Smiling Stu? It's just
That's
beautiful.
kind of how I came by it, to be honest with you. I mean, I got the name way back in the days of AOL, if you can think back that far. I just was trying to think of a name, and friends said, "Yeah, you're always smiling, so try Smiling Stu." Well, it kind of stuck with me, and over the years, I've always been just kind of a happy-go-lucky kind of a guy. And I've been in the restaurant business for 40 years as a manager, and I've always been known for the guy
Oh, okay. That's where
who
you get
always
me.
kept his calm, never lost his cool. I'm always smiling at guests. And, over the years, I actually started using the email on resumes and things like that. Oh, Stu, you need to change that to something more professional. I always left it on there. I always
Good
bucked it.
for you.
And I'd get people calling me, say, "Hey, this email name of yours, and I said, okay, great. And then I'd start walking into rooms and people address me as Smiling Stu. Well, how can you do that and not smile,
Yeah.
And then over time, it got to where, if I was at work and like maybe writing something on a clipboard and I wasn't smiling, people would walk up to me, "Stu, you okay?"
Yeah.
Because I just am always smiling.
What's wrong with you?
And it's a great way to go through life. And, it definitely it makes my life pleasant. And it's a little known fact, but when you smile, the muscle, that movement of your muscles releases chemicals in your brain that make you happy. So it's an automatic.
They
Yeah,
say you use more muscles frowning than you do
Yeah.
that's right.
smiling, and it ages you more.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so keep smiling.
I'm going to
Well,
keep
if that's what
smiling.
it takes, I'll do
I'm
it.
going to
Right.
keep smiling. Well, I want to welcome everybody to our podcast. This is Digital Office at Home, and what we're going to be talking about with Stu and every time we come on is how you can create a living at home, whether you're going to work from home for an employer or you're going to work for yourself. You're going to make a business, a side hustle. It doesn't matter. We want to bring you what it takes with the tools and the mindset that you need in order to make that happen and feel good about it. And so I'm gonna let Gail take it over here in just a minute, and I want her to tell you a little bit about herself and how she came upon coming over to the Digital Office at Home podcast. But for right now, let me just tell you, my name is Marian LaSalle. I've been in the IT industry for over 20 years. I won't tell you exactly how long because that'll age me. See,
Mm-hmm.
that's that frown we were talking about. But just so you know, I love it. I love the opportunities that the digital age has given us. So I came aboard before laptops, where it was these
Mm-hmm.
huge computers. And so
Yep.
I've gone through all that. And now it's like the gloves are off. There is nothing to hold you back. And I want to be included in that. And I want you to be able to do this with us. So this is a team effort. This is a community. The three of us, Smiling Stu and Gail and I, are all in the same industry.
Mm-hmm.
We love affiliate marketing. We love working from home. And so now I'm going to hand it on over to Gail. And Gail, what do you got to say for yourself today?
What do you got to say for yourself? Well, my name is Gail Kendig, and I'm so happy to be here. And for the audience, hopefully, as they come and watch us, whenever that may be. And for Stu, our guest, thank you for being here. Um, I am probably, I don't know, I think I'm a little bit older than Miss Marion, so I'm not going to tell you how old either. But I'm a recruiter. I mean, I guess since officially 1988, I would say officially, but before that I have quite a few steps to get there. But I knew early on that I always needed to be a step ahead of what was happening in the world. So when the IT stuff started coming out, I told my boss, which it was actually a major international company I worked for, which was in a recruiting. I guess, are we not supposed to say the names of the company? Because it doesn't matter really. But, well, you remember Kelly Girl kind of thing, but I wasn't with Kelly
Yeah.
Girl.
Yeah,
But it
yeah,
was
yeah.
Kelly
I
Girl was,
remember.
instead of Kelly was they were, like butting heads all the time, but Manpower was the largest employer in the world.
Sure.
So my boss, who owned 3 facilities, he was so stubborn. And I said, his name is Bob. We got to get into the computers. I don't know nothing about computers. I said, so I don't know nothing about secretarial, but I'm placing secretaries all the time, and I don't know nothing about industry, but I'm placing them. You just have to match the request from the company to the person who has the answers for the company, right? And so I finally talked him into it, and it was amazing. He listened to me. And so ever since then, I was looking at the IT stuff. I loved it, but I did not know software from hardware. I mean, when I saw a resume, it could have been Chinese. It was Chinese to me. So I would always run to the guy who knew, and I'm like, oh, what is this? But you know what? You have to always think ahead. And that's what's great about this industry. And now affiliate marketing is here. So anybody who is looking, I've been working from home for quite a while. I started 2005, where I wrote my book in 2005. And it basically was how I got different jobs. Everybody thought I was a job hopper, but people would call me and ask me to work for them, and they'd give me a lot of money. So I said, okay. So I kept doing different jobs, but I've never had a college education. I've gone to college classes, but not formal education, no degrees. I have no degrees, but I've always made money enough that I didn't have to. So this is exciting to be in the digital world where you can do things and not have to have a college degree. And I think you really only need one if you're going to be a doctor, because I really wouldn't want my doctor to, play around or just guess. So I'm glad that they have to have an education, and lawyers, stuff like that. So it's very exciting to be an affiliate because you are using somebody else's product. Number one, I didn't have to create anything, and I can just talk about it because it's amazing. Like, you had mentioned earlier, Stu, like it's so great to be an affiliate with a great company. So that's where I stand. I'm happy to be here because there's so many things I can learn and I can teach other people. And with Marian and the podcast, we can help so many people all over the world, really.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Well, Stu, we got lots of questions for you. And so thank you, Gail, for explaining a little bit about what you're doing and why you're here. I love the fact that Gail is my co-host. She is happy, bubbly, and full of great ideas. And I couldn't think of a better person to carry off this cool new podcast.
Absolutely.
So, Stu, my first question to you is, how did you end up here? I mean, you told us a little bit about your background and how you became Smiling Stu, but how did you end up working from home, doing affiliate marketing with this wonderful community?
Well, that's been kind of a rocky road. I mean, I've over the years tried different home business opportunities, and I mean, we're going back. My first one was probably when I was in college in 1981. I joined what was the big MLM at the time. They're still going, but it didn't work for me. I was too young. I wasn't focused. I paid and got a starter kit and didn't do anything with it really. I tried another MLM a little later that was based around long distance phone service.
Oh yeah, I know that one.
If you remember having to pay for long distance phone service, and I saved money with it versus what I was paying for long distance phone, but that was about it. I tried gumball machines at one point. They went for a little while, but they kind of petered out. And then I ended up, my wife also teaches piano. And back then she did it in the house. She has a studio now. But I had a couple of the gumball machines there. And I think I finally maybe broke even on the kids that came to piano, which is not exactly where you want to make your money. I tried an MLM that was kind of insurance based, but never made it past the accreditation and everything. And so I tried some different things. In the pandemic, I sat out for a little bit at the beginning of it. And I thought, well, I'm not going to waste this time. I'm going to get online and learn something. And I found affiliate marketing, and I struggled with that for a little bit. And I went back to work full time, and I continued to work at it. I got with a mentor that taught me a lot of things, but in the end wasn't the right one. In the end, it was pitching one of the other funnel builders that's out there, the funnel builder that will not be named. Basically, and it got to the point where it was breaking me. It got to the point where I didn't have things online. I had no money coming in, and I was spending $279 a month and trying to work at the same time. And it just, this isn't working. And so finally, at one point, I put it
Stu,
on.
before you go on, I do want you to name names. Okay. So, because we, in this podcast, what we're trying to do is help people, and we don't want them to have to waste their time and their money doing something. What was the company's name?
Well, it was ClickFunnels.
Okay.
It was a person who, and the mentor was a person who everything was developed around ClickFunnels, and it was really all about his mission to get a 2 comma club. And
wow, yeah.
He's finally gotten it. He's spoken on stage,
wow.
but in the end, it was the same thing that ClickFunnels does. Basically, it was all about getting you one more step up, buying the next bigger program. It's one of the things I love about HBA. I mean, it is just the 3 programs. They give you everything you need right there.
Yeah.
The cost of everything is less than what I was paying for that $279, and you get all that additional assistance and help, and the masterminds are amazing. I mean, I'm on every, and just my experience with HBA, like I said, I put everything on hold, and I went to work for another restaurant company. I opened a brand new barbecue restaurant, which was something I really wanted to do because I wanted that experience in my other career. But I was getting to the end of my career, and it got to the point where no one wants to come to work anymore, and I'm just not young enough to do the job of 3 and 4 people the way I have for a majority of my career. Right. And so finally I gave it up. I turned my retirement on a little early. I'm still working a few days a week. Actually, I came home and about went nuts. I said, I got to do something. So, you can't be in a business like that for 40 years and then just shut it off. It doesn't work. But anyway, so I still do that a few days a week just to be with people. But I do this majority of my time. Any free time I've got, I find I'm on there. I was up till 2:00 the other night working on my website just because I had gotten a zone and it just started rolling. But yeah, so I ended up, somebody told me about the $25 funnel builder. I thought, well, for $25, it takes me time to build it. I can afford that. I was paying $10 just to keep stuff on hold that I couldn't touch. So, it was kind of a no-brainer. And, I didn't get premium at first because I was still working the other job. And I even got a little hung up first getting started and didn't have time to come back and get it. And then when I finally made a decision just to go for it, I did. And I went to TNC one day and they fixed all my problems real quick.
Oh, great.
And I've been rolling ever since. And
that's great.
And then the mindset was a big thing for me too. I mean, I don't think with the other mentor, I don't think I had the right mindset. The serving mindset that you get with HBA is totally, it was all about how I can show you to do the next big thing and to do the next big thing with your people. And I'm not really interested about doing that. I like to just make a good, reasonable residual income for myself. I'm not trying to build some huge ad agency or anything like that, the kinds of things that they're pitching there. I'm too old for that. I want just to live nicely the rest of my years and pass something on to my daughter. And, that's what this community is about, which is great. So I guess that's my transition into here. The morning mastermind just sets my head right every morning.
The Grow Rich Mastermind?
The Grow Rich Mastermind.
That's great.
I found that once I really decided to go for it, I started going to that, and it's a little different at first, it's people screaming in the phone and that kind of thing. But, once it gets into you, and then I actually took an actual real look at the Think and Grow Rich book. I've heard about it for years and talked about little quotes from it and things like that, but I never really read it with any intent. And having done that now, these things just swirl in your head once you actually get them in there.
Yeah.
So
it's a dynamic book. I mean, it's one of the most read books in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, in the world, next to the Bible, it's been the most top-selling book. So it's still there, and people are still buying it.
Yeah, no wonder. Now I'm going to go through it several times. So just being on the mastermind, I'll go through it several times. But
yes, right.
Yeah, but I think really it does. If you really craft things around the principles that are in there, it makes a difference. So.
And it actually helps you reflect on your own life. Like that's how I wrote my book, because I was reading probably for the third or fourth or how many times I read it. The first time I read it, I was given to one of my, it was an MLM still in business, and they had me read it. And I was going to be a millionaire, right? I mean, come on, I was going to be a millionaire and get a pink Cadillac. And so I went, I read it in the first page. It said, if you bought this because because you thought you were going to be a millionaire, you bought it for the wrong reason. I'm like, you got to be kidding me, right? I'm like, oh, geez, that's not what I wanted to hear. But, the more I read it, okay. But I read it quite a few times, but I kept coming up with, oh my gosh, that happened in my life, and that happened in my life. And so I figured that's how I wrote my book. I just said, well, wait a minute. I have all these same things lining up with some of the things and principles that I was reading. I said, let me write my own story. And it was easy to write, and it was fun, but it was because I read that book and I just could relate to a lot of things to it. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I love the book. It's amazing. So.
Well, that was one of the things I was going to ask you for your mindset part.
Right.
What were your turning points? Like, you seem like you can't just sit still. So like, what were your mindset turning points to say that the aha moments?
Well, I mean, the first aha moments were really when I got working with the funnel builder and was able to do things so easily. Again, the difference is the training. I mean, it really is. It's right there for you. If you go step by step, you can't miss it. If you just watch it and press pause and go do the thing and come back and press play and press pause again, and go do the thing.
Good advice.
I don't know how anyone could not have their first funnel up and running in the first weekend. Just giving it a few hours. I mean, it really doesn't take long. And then the traffic part of it you get. And I mean, I've don't do a lot with my YouTube channel, but I produced one YouTube video following the instructions that are in there, and the thing's ranked in the top 3. So, it's the only one I really got there. The rest of my YouTube is pretty much just catching all my lives and holding them. I probably need to pay somebody at some point to go there and SEO all that so I can actually have a YouTube channel going. But
you've done well just with the basic following instructions. And that's really, I think you're overcoming a lot of people have that fear mindset. I'm not technical. We hear it all the time. Oh my gosh, I'm not technical. And they're so stuck in that mindset. I'm so technical that it stops them from moving anywhere. And you got through that quite easily. And it's a great testimony. Did you go on the Monday night where you shared that with people or not yet?
I haven't been on a Monday to that point yet. I'm starting to grow a little bit, but we'll get there. We'll get there.
Well, I think I like what you said, about how you just step by step, they're going to like to hear that, especially the new people. So what you just said is very important for a lot of the new people to hear. And, we can, so that is a good idea. I think.
I've got a question for both of you. This is really important, not only to me, I'm sure to everybody. What about work-life balance? You talked about your wife having a studio now for her piano lessons and things, so that maybe gives you more opportunity to do some live videos and things like that. And Gail, I want you to discuss that with us too. How do you handle the work-life balance? Because it's difficult for me sometimes.
I'm not too good at it because my husband's always begging for my attention. He always misses me. He's like, you're so busy doing, and I'm like, yeah. And plus, I haven't become a millionaire. I don't have a Tesla yet in my driveway. So, it's, it's like, show me the money. But I love, and he loves the community, especially the Grow Rich call. He knows the names, and he hears the names, and he's like, oh, I love that person. Oh, I love that person. And he's so cute, because he's enjoying it, through the door. Because the animals are getting restless all the time. So he makes sure they're quiet. But it infiltrates, our community is such full of love and, joy. And, so I think that even though I haven't had life changing, only freedom changing in my mind and my community, and the love, the support has been a huge change. And that's been wonderful. So even that alone is worth my time and his time without me sometimes, because I'm a better person too. I'm happier. And so it makes him happy. So I'm a little off balance, but so Stu, how are you doing?
Well, I mean, work-life balance for me, I'm a little older. My daughter's grown, but that's kind of one of the reasons I downgraded in my job as I was going through before that last one that I did, because I needed to be at home more, and my job didn't allow for that. So I gave up some job stuff in that time period to do that. But as far as the balance, my wife and I have both been pretty independent. We've both supported things, but a lot of times you talk about in this business that folks don't get the support of their family and stuff like that. And my wife doesn't want to have a whole lot to do with what I'm doing,
right?
Just in that she doesn't want to be on camera. She doesn't want to, that's just not her thing. And she doesn't understand everything that I'm doing, but I found out that I had the support, or have had the signs of support, in that green screen behind me. She bought me for my birthday.
How cute.
So, I had a
sheet
before that. I had a sheet hanging up there. And, last night my microphone wasn't working right. We ran down to Best Buy to get the piece to hook it up. And the piece was going to be a little bit of money. And she said, why don't you just get another microphone?
Oh, she's so cute.
So there's support there. And, while she doesn't have a desire to jump on camera with me or be pictured on things, I mean, I don't even have a picture of her in my wallet, really, that I could show you. To be honest with you, she just hates the camera that much. But I work when they're off doing things, and when they're here, I can be with them. So
exactly.
My daughter's off working right now, but when she's home later on, I babysit her dog a lot. So while she's off working, so it's nice. So.
Great. You're so cute. What about Marian? She didn't get to tell us about her balance.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we're having very large trees taken down in our backyard. So they're asking for me. So if you don't mind, you guys can have a conversation. I'll be right back.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, she's got like these 8-foot, 10-foot trees. She lives in the forest. Even though that's a background, she really does live in the forest.
Right.
So they have trees that are too close to the house. So they have to take 8 of them down.
I've got that situation going on now. I live on a lake.
Really?
Yeah, I live on a lake, and the house is halfway up a hill. So it's right in the middle of a lot of big trees. I've got a couple I really need to address. I mean, they're solid, but I wouldn't mind taking them out before I have a problem. But,
my liver.
Sure.
Well, I shouldn't say my liver.
Well, it's better than something she could say.
It's such a bad habit for me. But
I was in the Army. I can every now and then a cork it, and when it happens, people always look at me really funny because it's not something I do every day. But anyway.
So what would you say your greatest skill is that you bring to the table, that you're the gift that you were meant to give to the world?
Well, my attitude definitely is something
that's a big one.
Has just been a positive for me always. And it's really helping me, with the principles that you need to think about, and being able to keep that positive mindset, because there are times when I struggle with this. I mean, going live is something that wasn't easy for me early on.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it is for anybody. I kind of think of it as a Band-Aid. You just got to rip it off and do it.
True,
you really do. And you get better and better as you go.
Right. You don't care. It's actually, you don't care.
At this point, I don't want to make a video because it's easier for me to just turn a camera on and do it.
Right. Stop thinking about it. Just do it.
Yeah.
Oh man, I'm so sorry I'm missing the conversation, but
That's okay.
I'm sure Gail told everybody what's happening in my
Yep.
yard.
Yep. Oh, we talked about tree removal while you were gone.
Oh my goodness.
He's
Yeah.
in the same spot right now. He's
Can you
getting
imagine?
Yeah.
8 trees had to come down, right? Did you end up doing 8 trees? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like 9 trees. And they're like 100 feet tall. So it's like
Well,
ridiculous.
100
Well,
feet.
as I was telling her, I live on
85 to 100 feet tall.
Wow. I told my husband 8 feet.
the hill I live on. The view of the lake is blocked because I'm halfway up the hill. So we actually had them come out one time, and we paid them to shimmy up the trees and knock some of the branches down to give our view. And so we paid guys to do that.
So literally, you could now see the forest through the trees.
Well, yes, the lake through the trees. Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, it's we might be able to grow grass now. This really kind of looks like where I live, even though it's a green screen behind me. It's not real, but that's kind of how I feel. I'm surrounded by trees, and I'm in the national forest in Texas. I didn't even know Texas had a forest, so I thought it was all, farmland, cows and stuff. But no, we actually do live in a very beautiful area, full of beautiful, very tall trees, and it's been quite a unique experience. If I'd known ahead of time that I was going to have this kind of experience, though, if you've never had this many trees, you don't know how much it costs to have them taken down.
Well, we won't even talk about leaf removal.
Yeah, no, not at all. All right, so I don't know what questions you asked him, Gail. So I don't know.
Oh, well, I just asked him, first, his mindset, his aha moments, right? And then he told me about how his attitude has helped him through most of his life because it opened doors. I mean, who doesn't want to be with a happy person? That is my story too. That's my story.
The part about the pleasing personality and the major definite purpose always catches me. It's like,
me too.
It's important.
Gail has that down. Like this is an amazing transformational coach right here, and I'm excited to have her talk a little bit more about that and in a future podcast about the way that she can help people, because no wonder people come to you and say, I need to hire you. I have had that thought probably at least 10 times since I've known you. Like, how can I hire Gail? I mean, that's, so I think that has, and you wrote a book called The $1 Million Personality.
Well, The $1 Million Personality, and it also, the subtitle is how to profit from your personality, how your personality can profit, whatever, how to make profit from something like that. It's at the tagline, which I never really read that part, but I'm a little annoyed that I called it that, because then people think it's like Gail's talking about herself. I wasn't talking about myself. I was actually talking about Charles Schwab, who was given $1 million bonuses from his boss, the Carnegie company, Mr. Carney, with the steel industry. And he was getting paid because his personality was encouraging to the steel workers. At that time, it was awful to work and to be a steel worker. It was hot and ugly and not pretty. And he was able to generate enthusiasm and keep them working. And it was worth $1 million, to Mr. Carnegie. And, that was just the tip of the iceberg, because that's what people call me. They just want me to work for them, and they don't care if I know what I'm doing. They know I'll learn it. I'll teach you. Just please come on board. And I never intended it. Like I'm going to use people because it just naturally happened. And that's why I can relate to that book. And same thing for you. Stu, you're getting all these, people want to work with you because who wouldn't want to be with a genuine happy person? I don't have to fake it till I make it anymore. I mean, at one point in my life, I definitely had to, walk out the front door and say, put on a happy face, but, now it just comes so natural that, I wake up happy, and my husband thinks it's nuts, but he likes it, so it's all good.
Well, I want to thank everybody for joining us today. 30 minutes flew by so fast. I want you to reach out to Stu and smilingstu.com, or go to his Facebook page and check him out, because I think if you really want to be the type of person that you're trying to be, this is the community that I think everyone should at least investigate. So, Stu, thank you for being here with us today. Thank you. We want you to come back.
Love to.
Oh, good.
Love to. Yeah, no, this has been fun. Like to say, 30 minutes flew by like nothing.
We enjoyed your smiling personality, and we're very excited to have you in our community for sure.
Yes.
It's a wonderful community to be in.
Yes.
And I want everyone to come over to Digital Office at Home and check it out, see what we have going on over there. And I want you to think about where you can reach us. So you can see our smiling faces on YouTube, and you can also hear us in your ear. If you're driving down the road or mowing the lawn, you can hear us on your favorite podcast app. So check us out. We're at YouTube and iTunes and Spotify, and we're also on Facebook. So come on over and check us out.
And we're going to be sharing a lot more ideas about how to make money online, how to do the digital at-home work. There's so many opportunities now. It is a booming business to work from home. I've done research on this. So hang in there with us. Every single podcast, we're going to have ideas. Like Stu gave an idea today with the home business, and we are going to give you more.
Yes. Now, before we go, I am going to play a little video, and this video is another one of our community members. He and his wife write music, and they get up on stilts and they perform their musical instruments and sing at events. And so you can do, I hired them last year to do a birthday singing telegram, and it was wonderful. And they're in the Dallas area. If you're in the Dallas area, you check them out. So that's what I'm going to play right now. So thank you again for joining us, Gail.
Thanks, everyone. Thank you, Marian and Stu.
Had fun. Thank you.
Come on,
bye
baby.
For now.
Bye.
How do you make dreams come true?
It takes faith to make your dreams come true. Life has something special right here for you. Everything has a season, a reason to grow. So don't be discouraged by your obstacles. No. Never give up your right to be happy. Never give up. Be all you are meant to be. Things will always come to get us down, and it only gets worse when we start to frown. Let's keep hope alive in our hearts. Smile with gratitude, that's when the magic starts. Never give up your right to be happy. Never give up. Be all you are meant to be. Never give up your right to be happy. Never give up. It's your life.